Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I'm your host Talia and I once again welcome you all to BS level biology programs with subject code 4401. Students, I hope this series is proving to be fruitful for you and you are gaining maximum amount of knowledge from this series of lecture. So now let's welcome our expert, Dr. Muhammad Azad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So what's our topic of discussion for today?
Today, Talia, we are going to discuss the techniques which are used in the genetic engineering. We will discuss about the chain polymerase reaction or polymerase chain reaction called as PCR. Then we'll discuss about sequencing of DNA. And then in the end, we'll be going with the genetic fingerprinting, which is used in the profiling of different individuals. So these are, you can say, the different topics we are going to discuss in our today's lecture. Dear students, today after going with the basic principles of gene technology, we are going to go with the basic techniques used in gene technology. One of the technique is that once we have made a recombinant DNA, now we want to multiple copies of that DNA. And these copies are made by a specific reaction called as PCR or polymerase chain reaction. So starting with the details of this reaction, how we are going to proceed for this reaction. Polymerase chain reaction is a rapid and versatile in vitro method of amplification of DNA. We are using DNA template, a pair of primers, DNA polymerase, deoxynucleotides and magnesium containing buffer solution. Procedure of PCR is going to have 3 steps. First step is denaturing. The template DNA is denatured to become single stranded DNA from the double stranded DNA by heating. Second step is annealing. This step allows the hybridization of primers with the target DNA. Third step is extension. This process is the DNA synthesis step. So these are the, you can say, first denaturation, annealing, extension, again denaturation, annealing and extension. This is the triad which we are going to use in our reaction. So in the first step, this was a single strand, then 2 strands are produced, then 4 strands are produced in the 3 cycles. Looking at the steps in the form of animation, polymerase chain reaction is using 2 important steps, amplification, and then we are going to make a graph of amplification. So first going with the amplification, and first step as we discussed, that is the denaturation of DNA at a temperature of 94 to 96. So this denaturation is going to have 2 of these strands separated from each other. Then we are going to have the steps of annealing or primers. So these are the downstream primers, upstream primers. Then we are going to extend the primers. This is the Taq polymerase which is going to extend the primer. Then we are going with the second cycles, again the same steps, denaturation, annealing and extension. So going with the third cycle, the same steps, denaturation, annealing and extension of the primers. So we are going to make the multiple copies of our cloned gene. Similarly, we can go to the 4th cycle, 5th cycle. Each cycle is going to duplicate our, you can say, the cloned gene. Restriction enzymes, they are having the roles again to cut down the specific DNA sequence, and because they are going to cut from middle, they are called as endonucleases. So some of these are going to produce blunt end and some of these are going to produce sticky end. Cleavage is restricted to specific 4 to 6 base pair sequence. This is always the palindromic sequence. More than 800s and more than that are known at the moment. So these are different restriction endonucleases which are going to cut down at the different specific sites, and they are going to produce the fragments of DNA of various lengths. And this phenomena is called as restriction fragment length polymorphism, or RFLP. So the same pattern which exists in more than 1% of population, it is inherited, and thousands of these sequences they are known. So these are the DNA of various fragments, and these DNA fragments RFLP, they are being isolated by a technique which is called as gel electrophoresis. So looking at one of the animation, restriction fragment length polymorphism, that is shown in this animation, that these are the, you can say, the segment with specific sequence of nucleotide in the DNA having the different, you can say, the site for the restriction. Like here, this is one of the restriction site, and in another individual this is one of the restriction site. So DNA from different individual is going to vary in the sequence of these nucleotide, and these differences are referred to as restriction fragment length polymorphism. By cutting the DNA, some of the segments they are of very short length, some of these they are of intermediate length, and some of segments they are of very large length. Once we are going to go with the electrophoresis, so the shorter fragments are going to move faster, and the longer fragments they are going to move, you can say, the slower. So this is the shortest fragment, this is the medium length fragment, and this is the large fragment. And this phenomena that DNA is cut into different length, this is called as restriction fragment length polymorphism. Students, so by these restriction endonucleases, we are going to have the segments of DNA of various length. So in the last animation, we have seen that how we are going to separate that. So there is a process of separation of these DNA fragments of various length, and this process is called as gel electrophoresis. Going with the steps of gel electrophoresis, this process is used to separate DNA fragments of different lengths, and this is the agarose gel which is used. This agarose gel is placed with one of the containers, and we are going to supply the power. There are two terminal, negative and positive terminals are there, and we are going to place the DNA on one side, and all of you know that DNA is going to have the phosphate groups, and this phosphate group is going to have negative charge. So DNA fragments are going to move from negative terminal towards the positive terminal. So once we are going to have the power on, so there is movement. This is the gel, colloid gel. This is a short fragment. This is going to move at a faster speed. This is a long fragment, and that is going to move at a less speed, and it remains behind. So by this we are going to have this various fragments localized at various distance, and by this we are going to identify the different individuals. We are going to take a photograph of that, and this is actually the genetic fingerprint of that DNA which we have used in this process of gel electrophoresis. Students, another use of this gel electrophoresis is DNA sequencing. Now we are going to take any chromosome, like humans are having 23 pairs of chromosome. The chromosome number 1, that is the longest, and 22, that is the shortest. We can take any chromosome and we can tell the sequence of nucleotide bases on these chromosomes with the help of this technique of genetic engineering called as DNA sequencing. So going with the slide first, followed by the animation of DNA sequencing. So there are two methods of DNA sequence. One is chemical cleavage method, and other is dideoxy method, which is used by Sengers, and this is a more commonly used method of DNA sequencing. So we are going to have dideoxynucleotide, dideoxyadenine, dideoxyguanine, thymine and cytosines, and then these are there used in the process of gel electrophoresis. The modern technique is, instead of doing manually, now we are going to read it from a computer. A laser beam is going to detect all of these labeled nucleotide, and that is going to create a graph like that, and like this is for T, G, C, A, telling us the sequence on a specific part of DNA, and this is one of the graphs. So you must have seen the ECG, EEEs like that. So this is the electropherograms which is there, looking the formation of these in the form of a animation. So using the Sanger's method of DNA sequencing, this is one of the, you can say, the three of the nucleotides having thymine, thymine, thymine. So complementary base to the thymine is adenine. So they are, one strand is running in 5' to 3', other is anti-parallel from 5' to 3'. So what the technique they have used? So they have used the deoxynucleotides. They are joined to 3 carbon at the end of chains, and hydroxyl groups in each position form ester linkages with a central phosphate. In this way the nucleotide chain is going to elongate. Let us see, this is the dideoxynucleotide, and this is not going to accept the newcomers, and that is being rejected, and on the basis of this, so that is going to form our, you can say, the pattern. And how we are going to go with this technique? First we are going to use this DNA template over which we want to know the sequence of the bases. Then we are going to place them in the 4 test tubes. In each of these test tubes we are going to place dideoxynucleotides A, C, T, G. So all of these are placed there, and now let us say, just considering only the adenine out of these 4. So we are going to heat it at a specific temperature, as a result of which weak hydrogen bonds are going to break and double stranded DNA is converted into single stranded DNA. And then it is the role of primer. The primer is going to start this process. Until the primer is not there, the DNA polymerase cannot act. Once the primer is there, so DNA polymerase is going to make a copy of that, and these new nucleotide, they are going to come till there is dideoxynucleotide. Once this is the dideoxynucleotide, so this fragment is being released or separated. So by this technique we are going to have the DNA strands of various lengths, and then we are going to separate this DNA strands of various lengths by the techniques of gel electrophoresis. We are having the site for A, C, T and G. We are going to place this sample DNA here, and from negative terminal, so these DNA strand, they are going to pass towards the positive terminal, and their speed is variable depending upon their length. Then we are going to take a picture, and after taking the picture we are using a scale, and we are placing this scale here. Let us say if scale is going to come here first, so where it is there in front of T. So we are going to write T for that, then it will be G, then it will be next T, then it will be A. So if I am going to just take a ruler, a scale is there, and we are going to move the scale. Now the scale is in front of whatever the nucleotide, we are going to write that nucleotide here, and we can tell the sequence of bases in a specific piece of DNA. So this is the process which is called as DNA sequencing. This was the process which were commonly used.
So are there any other methods for DNA sequencing?
Yes, Talia. Instead of using manually the scale and moving the scale and reading it, so now we are having computers. There are many computer generated programs are there, and we are going to tag it with the radionucleotide isotopes. And now the computer is going to read with the help of a laser beam, and that is going to give us the DNA sequence in the form of strip. So going with the detail of the same in the form of animation. So initial steps remains the same as we have gone with our previous animation. That is, the first we are going to heat the DNA. So this double stranded DNA is converted into single stranded DNA, and then so we are going to add dideoxynucleotides. These are radio labels, and then we are going to have the same steps, that is the separation of the strand. The primer is going to come. So primer is going to attach at the priming site to start the reactions. DNA polymerase become activated, and then this DNA polymerase is going to start the replication of the second strand of DNA. This is just bringing the complementary bases, T for A, G for C and all others, till there is one of the dideoxynucleotide is going to come, and here there is termination of the chain and this fragment is being released. Similarly, you can say the different fragments, they are produced by the same process, and as a result of this we are going to have the, you can say, these fragments, and instead of going with the Senger's method and just having the pictures, this time we are going to take this and we are going to place it in a, you can say, the gel, and then after this whole of this, you can say, the gel and our tray, that is placed in a semi automatic apparatus which is going to have, you can say, the whole of this process of DNA sequencing. We are going to close this apparatus, and this apparatus is going to carry out the process of gel electrophoresis. Here this is the laser beam which is going to activate. These are the fragments of DNA which are going to come. So this laser beam is going to just detect the various nucleotide, and this is going to make this graph in the form like that, where A, T, C, G, they are going to come. So this is one of the modern technique of DNA sequencing. Dear students, a very important use of the gene technology is DNA fingerprinting, DNA profiling. You must have gone with the newspapers. So in many newspaper, many times you have read the, you can say, the news that we are going to go with the DNA test of this criminal, and that body is being, a dead body was there and they have performed the DNA test over the dead body. So what this DNA test is and how we are going to identify different individuals. So this is done by the process of DNA fingerprinting, and this DNA fingerprinting is going to use almost the same basic techniques which we already discussed. We are going to first isolate the DNA from any of the samples of a criminal or from the dead body, and then we are going to cut down this DNA with the help of restriction endonucleases. Then we are going to have gel electrophoresis, and then we are going to have the, you can say, the picture of that DNA fragments, and every individual with the exception of only identical twins, they will be having 100% same genetic fingerprint. With this single exception, every individual will be having a different genetic fingerprint. Then we are going to match, and there are many practical situations of cases of disputed paternity. Sometime in the labor room, the newborns, they get mixed. We are using this technique for identification, and in the science of criminology, we are going to have lot of application of this technique. So going with the steps of genetic fingerprintings, going with the basic steps of genetic fingerprinting. So different individuals carry different alleles. Most alleles useful for DNA fingerprinting differ on the basis of number of repeated DNA sequence that they contain. This is one of the genetic fingerprint taken from some of the individuals. If DNA is cut with a restriction enzyme that recognize site on the either side of region, that varies. DNA fragments of different size will be produced. DNA fragment is made by analyzing the size of DNA fragment produced from a number of different sites in the genome that vary in length. The more common the length variation at a particular site, the greater the number of the site analyzed, the more informative the fingerprint will be there. Let's say this is the allele 1, this is allele 2, this is allele 3, and they are there in a specific population. So DNA fingerprints of different size will be produced by a restriction enzyme that cuts at the point shown by these arrows. And then we are going to subject these DNA fingerprints on the gel electrophoresis, and movement of DNA molecules will be there from negative terminal to positive, that is from cathode to anodes, and the longer fragments, so they will be just remaining behind, shorter fragment ahead, and intermediate fragments they will be there in the middle. And this is the technique of gel electrophoresis we have already discussed, and these alleles are cut like that, and they are going to settle in the form like that. At position 1, this is the position for allele 1, this is the position for allele 2, this is position for allele 3. So in a standard DNA fingerprint, about a dozen sites are analyzed, with each site having many possible alleles in a population. This is, let's say, genetic fingerprint. When many genes are analyzed, each with different alleles, the chance that two patterns match by coincidence is vanishingly very small chance is there. So these are, you can say, the one of the murderer's shirt, and this is the victim's blood. So we have made the DNA fingerprint of this victim, and this was the shirt of murderers. So you can imagine, so which is going to match. So we are going to match all of these segments with the, you can say, the suspects which are there. DNA profiling means the technique used by scientists to distinguish between individuals of the same species using only the samples of DNA. The inventor of this technique was Jeffreys, and that technique is now commonly used in all the cases of criminology. The stages of DNA profiling are: in the first stage, cells are broken down to release DNA. If only a small amount of DNA is available, it can be amplified using the PCR technique we already discussed. Again, the step 2, the DNA is cut into fragments using the restriction enzyme. Each restriction enzyme cuts DNA at a specific site. The section of DNA that are cut out are called as restriction fragments. This yields thousands of restriction fragments of all different size, because the base sequence being cut may be far apart, long fragment, or they are closer, short fragments. And then fragments are separated on the basis of gel electrophoresis we discussed already in detail, and then on the basis of their speed we are going to have the different picture from the different individuals. A radioactive material is sometime added which combines with the DNA fragment to produce a fluorescent image. So here these are the fluorescent images which are produced, and later on a photographic copy of the DNA band is obtained. The pattern of fragment distribution is then analyzed by the experts, going all these steps in the form of an animation. Going with the details of DNA fingerprintings. So let's say this is the sample of DNA, and DNA is chopped up into specific pieces by the specific enzymes, and then the DNA is cut up into the pieces of these fragments with the help of restriction endonucleases. Sizing and sorting is done, and next again it is the gel electrophoresis which is there, and then a fingerprint is being taken, and then we are sometime using the genetic probes, and we are going to store it in the computer all the data of all the criminals. Students, after so much of discussion, can you imagine? So what should be the some of the important application of this DNA fingerprintings? So just think in your mind, then I am going to describe some of the famous cases used in this criminology. So uses of DNA profiling to solve the criminals and medical problems. Crime. There is a branch of medical science called as forensic medicine or forensic science. Here the doctors, they are expert in the legal situation. They are going to profile the individual, and in the developed countries, they are going to store the DNA fingerprints of all the criminals if they are involved in any of the criminal activity. We are going to take the samples. Sometimes this is the sample of blood, hair, saliva, semen, body tissue cells. DNA samples have been obtained from vaginal cells transferred to the outside of a condom during sexual intercourse. The patterns of DNA profile is then compared with those of victim and the suspect. If the profile matches the suspect, it provides strong evidence that the suspect was present at the crime scene. This is the presence, but it does not prove that they committed the crime. If the profile does not match the suspect, then that suspect may be eliminated from the inquiry. Students, today we discussed about some of the techniques which are used in genetic engineering. We discussed about how we can amplify or increase the number of our recombinant DNA by polymerase chain reaction. Then we discussed how we can sequence the various chromosome, and now we are having genetic library. We are having whole of the human genome that is being sequenced. And in the end, we have gone with the DNA profiling of various individuals for identification of different criminals, as well as in some cases of medical disputes, we are using these techniques. So that's all for today.
Thank you so much, sir, for today's detailed lecture.
Welcome.
Students, I hope that today's lecture was clear and comprehensive. Now, I would like to summarize today's lecture for you. In today's lecture, we discussed about 3 basic techniques of genetic engineering, which includes polymerase chain reaction, DNA sequencing, and DNA fingerprinting, which are used in the genetic profiling of individuals. With this, students, we reach the end of our today's program. Your host and your expert, Talia and Dr. Muhammad Azad, would now sign off from the program. Inshallah, see you in the next program with more dose of knowledge. Till that time, take care of yourself and Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.